Amendment of the NDLEA Act. Government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to ending all forms of violence and discrimination against women and girls. The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Adijat Adeleye, gave in an interview as the state joined the global community in marking the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women observed this Monday. Honorable Adeleye informed that the Gateway State has recorded significant strides in the fight against gender-based violence made possible by the collective efforts of stakeholders, the government and the media through collaboration and persistent advocacy, which has not only raised awareness but also expanded access to support systems and resources for survivors. She used the occasion to call on citizens and residents to join hands with the government in building a safe and just society for continue to break the silence, support survivors, and challenge harmful beliefs and practices that perpetrate violence. Meanwhile, a call has gone to government at all levels to take urgent and decisive action to combat violence against women. The chairperson of the state chapter of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, NAWAJ, Comrade Sekinat Salam, made the call on the sideline of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women being observed this Monday. According to her, it is essential for the leaders to prioritize the protection of women and girls, enact and enforce laws that hold perpetrators accountable, and provide adequate support and resources for survivors. She called on girls and women not to suffer in silence, but speak out and seek help in case of any form of violence or abuse. Comrade Salam emphasized that by speaking out, the victims will not only empower themselves, but inspire others to break free from the cycle of violence, assuring that NAWAJ will continue to amplify their voices to attract necessary action and assistance, both locally and internationally. Still on International Day of Violence Against Women, there is the need for more emphasis to be placed on preventive aspect of domestic violence. A gender advocate, Mr. Adeniji, an interview with OGBC in Abeokuta. According to Mr. Adekunle, efforts should be geared towards working on the family unit to prevent issues that lead to violence. He said when parents exhibit violent behaviors, there is a high tendency that children raised under such environment may imbibe such acts. Mr. Adekunle was of the view that majority of the issues of domestic violence in the society are foundational since they naturally starts from the domestic experiences. You're listening to the state news on OGBC 90.5 FM. People have described the recent amendment of the National Drug and Law Enforcement Agency Act to include life imprisonment for drug traffickers as a welcome development, which will no doubt help curb the prevalence of drug abuse in the country. Respondents to a Vox Pop who stated this in Abeokuta believed this would discourage people who are into the act, noting, however, that the act should be judiciously followed to the letter. According to Mr. Zion Adams and Mr. Lukman Ogunride, the move will limit the activities of drug peddlers in the society and sanitize the health sector. On their part, Tinuke Farumbi and Mr. Peter Adeleye also acknowledged the importance of the approval in sanitizing the sector, but said it should include bandits, terrorists, and kidnappers. Also speaking, Mr. Thomas Agbo suggested that the drugs should be spelled out in implementation of the act. A new tax bill sent to the National by President Bola Tinubu is the most pro-poor and pro-small-scale business-friendly tax reform in the country. A tax expert, Professor Abiola Sani, stated this to questions from OGBC on the implications of the new tax bill. According to him, the tax bill seeks to exempt the income of those earning 800,000 from tax, while the withholding tax regulation that had already taken effect had expressly exempted small companies, all of which are targeted at helping the poor and small businesses. Professor Sani also noted that the issue of multiple tax will also be addressed in the new tax law, saying that state governments, for instance, must put an end to consumption tax while already sharing from the revenue derived from value added tax. Violence against women is a disservice. Desist from it. To end the state news, another look at the major items. In an interview to mark the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, observed this Monday, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Adijat Adeleye, restated government's commitment to ending all forms of violence and discrimination against women and girls. This is just as leaders in the country have been urged to prioritize the protection of women and girls. We also told you that respondents to a vox pop in Abeokuta have described the recent amendment of the National Drug and Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA's) Act to include life imprisonment for drug traffickers as a welcome development, which will help to curb drug abuse. The state news was edited by Elizabeth Kuforiji and broadcast from OGBC Abeokuta. For exclusive programs and the latest news updates, visit our website at openradio.ng. Follow us on Facebook at Open Radio Abeokuta and on X handle at OGBC 905 FM. You can also listen to OGBC on the Radio Garden.